So now you see I have this model up at the top. Third quarter shows the store number, same exact model, and it shows how I can delete that since I created this at the store level. Now if I want to, I can select it and I can modify it how I want. The other thing that I can do is this copy product to product. So if I click on the copy product to product tab and select this, maybe I want to copy this same model to other SKUs, suppliers, classes, colors, product custom entries. I can do that here on the screen. So maybe I just wanted to do it to a different SKU. I can go and I can type in that SKU to the right of by SKU. I can preview it, or I can copy it, and that will copy that model to that SKU. It saves you time so you don't have to enter it in for each SKU. So now we're going to move on to the second part of this. We've entered our product models that we want to keep for our desired levels on hand. Now we want to be able to run an automatic purchase order. So it'll look through the system and look at your on hands and your models and your on orders, and it will automatically create an order based on that. So here I'm going to go to Inventory, Purchasing, and Generate Automatic Purchase Orders. Brings us into Generate Automatic Purchase Orders. You have two tabs, the Options and the Criteria tab. If you wanted to name the report, you could to the right of report name. Order type, since we're dealing with models, we're going to click on Based on Model Quantities, the Based on Model Stocks, that's the default. Purchase order worksheet, if you wanted to generate an order worksheet, you could check that. We're not going to do that for what we're doing. And since I'm at the top level in the right hand corner, it's asking for a store number. So I'm going to go ahead and put in store 1. If I was at store 1 level, I wouldn't have to put the store 1 in there. And I'm going to select ship date. I'm going to select a cancel date. Usually 30 days after is the norm. And I'm just going to leave payment date blank. That's pretty much optional. So is ship date and cancel date, but we strongly recommend using ship date and cancel date. If you wanted to put an alert message on this order, so that way when someone goes to receive that purchase order, that alert message would pop up, you can do that in the alert message text box. If you want to check whether this order is split shipment or back order, you can do that with these check boxes. Since we're not doing this based on sell-through, we really don't have to worry about the what sales period do you want to analyze. And then we have the additional inclusion options. If you want to include order amounts that are due to be shipped within the next so many days. Say if you want this to look at anything that's on order in the next 60 days, so it'll look at on order and it wouldn't create a automatic purchase order based on that. You could do that for this area. Then we have the criteria. If you click on the criteria, you can choose the store. Since we're at the top level, that's why you see the by store. So I'm going to go ahead and choose store 1. If you're doing a particular supplier, you can choose the supplier or supplier. Same thing for the class or classes, the SKU or SKUs. If you're doing product custom entries, or if you want to exclude certain criteria. I'm going to do a particular SKU. So I'm going to type in that SKU. So we're going to do by store 1, leave store state blank, leave supplier blank, all classes, and I went down to the SKU and I put that particular SKU. If you're doing a whole supplier, you don't have to do the SKUs. You can just go to the supplier, say we were doing all in New Balance only, then we could put the New Balance code in for that. And then if you want to preview it first, you can click on the preview button down at the bottom. And now you have the preview where it shows you exactly the SKU numbers that are going to be ordered. If you look that over and that looks correct, then we can go back and we can click on Create, PO, and Print. This will bring you to the report history, and you can select that purchase order, and you can open it up. And that shows you exactly what was ordered. Shows you the purchase order number. Since this is an automatic purchase order, that's why it starts with A. And then the one after that is the store number. The supplier is NEWB New Balance. Then we have the date. So we have 10 for 2010, 07 for July, and 20 for the 20th of July. And then -1 because that is the first purchase order that we've done. It'll give all the information for that supplier. It'll show you the SKU, the quantities, the totals at the end. So here, if you wanted to print it, you could click on the printer icon and print it. You could save it somewhere to your hard drive. You could actually email it directly to this supplier by clicking on the email. And you can click on search if you're trying to search for something on this order. Down at the bottom, this happens to be only one page, but if you had multiple pages, you can click next page, previous page. You can go to the last page. You can go to the first page, or you can just use the scroll up and down to go through the report. And then if you ever wanted to bring that purchase order up and look at it, modify it, we could go back to inventory and purchasing and enter purchase orders. This will bring us into the enter purchase orders, and we can pull up that purchase order in the quick lookup by clicking on the lookup, or if you know the PO number, you can type that purchase order number in. Once I look it up and select it, it pulls that purchase order number up. I can click on SKU detail, and whatever SKU or SKUs are on there, I can modify those just by clicking on it. And then I see down below exactly what I ordered. So I could change that and save it if I wanted to. The other way of modifying a purchase order, we could go to inventory, purchasing, and change purchase order. This brings us into change purchase order. We can use the quick lookup to look this purchase order up or type in the PO number. Once we find it, we can select it, and that comes up on the screen. This will look a little different than when we opened up the regular enter purchase order screen. Gives you a lot of great information. So here it's going to list everything that you ordered, each size, and it will tell you the quantity, the on hand, the model, the sales, the cost, the total, and then to the right we can edit that by the pencil icon if we wanted to. We could bookmark it if it's a long list and we're leaving the screen and we want to bookmark it so that the next time we come into this screen it leaves off on the SKU that we're on. We could do that. Or if you want to delete that item altogether, you can click on the red X. So it just gives you a lot of good information to look at on one screen. And you could even export this PO and then email the export to your supplier if you want to. So that's the other way of pulling up a PO and modifying it if needed. So we strongly recommend using the Enter Models feature along with the Generate Automatic Purchase Orders. Helps you keep on top of everything that you need to order, and you really don't miss out on the sizes that customers are wanting to purchase from you. This webinar will always be on your Wix Enterprise menu in the video library under webinars. We also have some other training videos out there on entering models and generating automatic purchase orders, and you can also call the support department at any point in time and we'll be glad to help you with any of this. Thank you.